All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, well, I guess it's afternoon. I'm sure it's morning somewhere. Welcome to an Extreme Stream Chart Wrecking Edition. Chart Wrecking Edition. Good morning. What's up, Crypto Trailer? How you doing, buddy? Rob, as always. Simon, Mihail. Wife's closing the door. She doesn't want to hear my garbage. She don't want to hear it. Win mopped? Is that mopped or moped? Bulls are in control. Okay. What's up, Christina? I'm doing good. I'm doing super good. Super duper duper good because I don't have the coronavirus. And I thought about calling this the virus edition, but chart wrecking edition sounds fine. Actually, should be chart murder show. Oh, let me change that real quick. I'm going to change the title to the Chart Murder Show. There we go. I think it saves it real time. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Do extreme streams from time to time when, everything is, well, not every time, but when the market gets a little funky. And looking at our chart, our daily chart that we look at right now, I would call today a little bit funky. What's up, Mel? Morning, Paul. Everyone say hi to Paul. Hey, Alec, long time. No see, absolutely. Good morning. Thanks for joining. JJ, hello. Man, it's like a family reunion for me. Anil, what's up, guys? Miguel, I see Miguel there. Shiny, just talked to Shiny for the first time. Everyone say hi to Shiny. Say hi to Mel. See? Ted said hi to Paul. There you go. All right. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about crypto? I'm a little surprised at the depth of the sell-off. I have a theory about the sell-off. If you guys have been following me for a long time, which most of you probably have since you're actually here, got the notification. Oh, by the way, like the video, go share it on YouTube. Go share it on Reddit. Go share it on wherever there are other people. Get some people on the stream here. I've got a theory as to why the market sold off. I'm interested on some of your guys' theories. And as you know, I'm not one that usually discusses theories and why the market sells off. And I don't really care in a lot of circumstances. I think this one is going to be a slightly different, however. Maybe a singular event, maybe not a singular event. But I've got a theory as to what's happening, and I think it could be relatively important. And in terms of the length of this, because I believe we're probably going back into a bear market just based on today. And the length of the bear market and such is going to be based on, Shiny kind of hit it on the head there. Everything sold off. BTC is a risk asset. Cryptocurrency is generally a risky asset. So my theory on the sell-off is that liquidity markets around the world, or firms around the world are raising capital. And they're doing so due to the coronavirus. So the same sell-off you're seeing in the stock market after these large announcements from the United States and things that they're doing now and things that other nations are doing, it's becoming pretty obvious that a global recession is coming. And what they're doing is they're raising capital and reducing exposure. And obviously, at least in my opinion, this kind of shows me that cryptocurrency is something that institutions are exposed in. They have exposure. Someone, I don't know who, nor does it even matter from that perspective, but just the fact that everything sold off today. Usually what happens when we get a sell-off, you'll see Bitcoin down 6%, Bitcoin Cash down 13%, ETH down 11%, Link down 20%. You'll see one or the other. Everything was down 30 to 40%. Everything at the same time down 30 to 40%. That's a liquidation. That isn't just a normal traditional sell-off. That is a liquidation of positions and position sizing. That's where the head guy walks into the trading desk and says, hey, you got to cut 50% of your crypto or 30% of your crypto or 20, whatever the percentage is. You have to, hey, what's up, Vlad? They have to raise capital. They're being ordered to raise capital, and that's why you're seeing it across the board. It's not a single name. It's their crypto portfolio is being either, I'm not sure if deleveraged is the right term, but they're selling off a good portion of the crypto portfolio. And you can probably tell here, they're probably a little heavier ETH, a little heavier, well, that or just the market's a little less liquid. But the ones that are going down the most are the ones that either have less liquidity or they have larger exposures too. But they're probably equal weight in terms of market cap, which is why they're down percentage-wise in the same fashion. So that's my theory on what's happening. And normally, you guys know me, I don't care. Randy does not give two shits about why the market's going down. And I still don't really care that much, but I think it's good to have information and good to be a little bit informed. And I think that's what's happening. So that's my theory. If there's any opposing theories, I'll be happy to hear them. And really, in reality, in our Slack chat room, we kind of rehashed the macro room, which Shiny so nicely, I believe. Did you open? Shiny opened that, if I'm not mistaken, which is why when I went back in there, I screamed, "Shiny, where are you?" And like a beautiful, magical person, she appeared, and we've had some nice conversations in there. So if you guys do want to join in that, feel free to jump in the macro chat room in our Slack group. But we're mainly talking about traditional markets, and I do think crypto comes into this as well. The coronavirus, all this stuff. Yeah, I think it's important. We're living through a pretty historical event right now. I've lived through 2000. I've lived through 2007, 8, 9. I remember the bottom. I sold my house at the top in 2005, actually, the Phoenix housing market top at least. So I've lived through some events. This is another event. This is another event in the markets, in cryptocurrencies, and traditional markets. It's an event. And if you guys are here, if you guys are investors, if you plan on being investors in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, if that's your plan, remember these moments, because these teach lessons that you can get no other way than to get your ass kicked, or watch other people get their ass kicked, or listen to other people bitch about getting their ass kicked. So there you go. Pretty important times. Pretty fun times, actually. I'm really enjoying myself. I'm having a blast. To be honest with you, I'm having a lot of fun. You usually don't get these routes and corrections very often, and when you get them, it's definitely one of the more entertaining parts of the cycle, unless you're heavily in the opposite direction. But it's important, and you come to find really good buying opportunities in these positions. So when we get like this, it's entertaining if nothing else. And you get an extreme stream, so lucky you. What do we got here? So I missed a few comments. Let me read a few. Mel keeps shouting at me 200 weekly SMA support. Maybe. I mean, yes, it is bouncing off the 200 SMA, but I can't, I can't necessarily say it's going to stop there. Hopefully it does. I think that would be fantastic. But I'm not buying down here. I like to wait for confirmation, and we don't have that yet. Pretty much on almost any time frame. As a matter of fact, if you go down into the small terms, like the 15-minute I was looking at earlier, a very beautiful H pattern. Actually, looks like we just collapsed below in this beautiful H pattern. It's just a very textbook, very, very textbook H right there. So we'll see what happens. We're not selling off too far after undercutting there, so we could bounce back a little bit. I didn't look at this too hard. We talked in the end of the Crypto Power Hour in regards to shorting and longing. I think our long was here. I think it was maybe a little bit higher. We were talking about that is a potential long area if you're looking to short the market at this stage of the game. You want to look for a topping candle. You arguably had a decent little topping candle there. Not the best one, but definitely looks like one, and that would have been a good short, even just for this little route. you'd be up about 10%. In these very volatile market times, even day trading can give you excellent returns. Prime little example right there. You could have shorted a couple little levels, if you noticed that you had a small topping candle and don't want to jump right in, you can wait till for a little breakdown. Another situation is to try to go horizontal off of a low, which is our little spike low here. You could have tried to short right there, also with a pretty good little trade on your hands. So there's always something to do in both directions actually, or just staying cash until the market bottoms out, just depending on your general bias in the market. A couple people say this is not a dip. I generally agree with that. I generally agree with this is not just a dip, likely to continue in some fashion. This is the chart murder show, and let's look at charts being murdered for a little bit. So I'll start off with the Big Daddy BTC, and you can see here we've had our channel, which we were bouncing out of relatively nicely. It wasn't knock your socks off volume, but the volume was showing up. It was there, and we were okay with the pullback. We were looking at an inverted head and shoulders. Then we get the coronavirus, and now you end up with risk off type of situations with larger institutions, and I think that's what caused this. So if there is a possibility that we have additional liquidity calls, the market will take more legs down. So it's really interesting when I'm talking like that. You have your general market action, and then you have I don't care distribution. Okay, that's basically what you have. When your boss comes in and tells you, and again, I'm going with this theory because I don't have another one, and it's the only thing that makes logical sense to me in terms of the orderliness of this sell-off, that it's a general risk-off opportunity and liquidity raising for larger institutions, or maybe just super rich people, I don't know. But general market action where we can talk about chart patterns and have great conversations, and we can go ahead and look at volume and all of this. And then you have I don't give a shit distribution, which is basically what we have here. Doing general technical analysis on I don't give a shit distribution, to me, makes no sense. This is charts being broken, murdered. It's the chart murder show, ladies and gentlemen. Extreme stream. Chart murder show. Because charts just got murdered. And when you have an I don't give a shit distribution event, which are extremely rare, I honestly can't really think the last one, 2008, in all honesty. Most corrections are somewhat orderly, somewhat normal. I don't give a shit distribution is a panic. You cannot TA a panic, especially on a daily chart. You can try to time a bounce. You can try to play an intraday chart for a trade, but you can't time a panic. It's impossible. Panics can lead to capitulation moves, which we can have that conversation, but trying to time a bottom with a 200 weekly. Look, if it ends up bouncing off the 200 weekly, I'll eat my crow all day long, but I don't play panics. It's not my game. You know what I mean? It's really not my game. Wave Rider, long-term log trend seems to have broken too. We were looking at that this morning. It's actually on my chart. Mel is the one that really kind of turned me on to this one. And so just for those of you that don't know, if you go to Bitcoin, you can go to the indicators and strategies button with the little wave and the plus, and type in growth curves. For some reason, Bitcoin log doesn't show up, but you can type in growth curves. Just show you guys real quick. Type in Oh, it's working this time. So never mind. Go ahead. And it's this one. Is it this one? Should be the same one. Yeah, I think it's that one. Anyway, Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves. So let me zoom out here. I'll take a weekly and just show you guys what this is if you have not seen this before. In all honesty, our buddy Mel, who's in our chat here, Mel, say hi. Mel's the one that I've seen it before, but I didn't really look at it, know much about it. Mel had a nice conversation with me one day about it, and I do respect this graph. This is the first time it's really overtly been broken. And it's the last time it was broken was actually here. We were looking at this morning in the power hour, as a matter of fact. right here, and it was a 5% drop, and we have a 25% drop right now. So while this was a little wick, and you can see it bounced right back up very nicely. If you go to the daily chart, there's 2 days here. The second day is a green day, and it has more elevated volume. And of course, that happens. I was going to try to not do that, but anyway, just to show you what I'm talking about. 2 days underneath the log room here. Throw it on the BLX chart. Okay. I agree, Shiny. Shiny says it wasn't because of crypto, it was because of a world event. I 100% agree with you on that. Let's get to that a little bit later. And Samp is also saying put it on the BLX chart, so I will. Let's throw it on the BLX chart. Why do I have 2 lines up there? That's weird. I think one is one I drew or something. Where the hell is it? Yeah, see, I drew it right there. Delete that one. Okay, so there's the BLX going all the way back. And actually, yeah, it actually didn't really break there too much at all on the BLX charts, a little bit differently. A little bit undercut right there, a little undercut right there, but really arguably nothing like what we have right now. Looks like a slight undercut here at about, let's see where, I don't want to stay here that long. So, oh, we didn't break it. Oh, wow. Very interesting. I guess the chart matters, right, guys? Guess the chart matters. So, oh, we didn't break it. How the hell? Oh, we haven't been down here yet, though. This is still at 8,000. The day hasn't closed yet. You should have told me that. No, it's down here. We're at 5,600, so it has broken. It's down here. Okay. Okay, I was starting to feel like the odd man out here, like I was missing something. You guys are making me doubt myself. It's weekly? When was the last time? March 11th? 2 days ago? Oh, okay. I see you, Mel. I see you. I see you, Mel. So let's go to Mel's chart here. Let's see what he's got. Where are those lines coming from? That's not the same indicator. Which indicator is that? That's also weekly. So we're right on that. Is that what you're saying? That's 54.67 orange line. Very interesting. Very interesting to say the least here. Well, then how come mine looks different? I don't know. You got my burger?
Mm-hmm. Yep. They put cheese on it. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I'm just the messenger. And then I got fries.
Okay.
I'll share with you, but you can have the rest.
Okay. All right. I got In-N-Out Burger, ladies and gentlemen. Who wants to hear me chew? Arguably nobody. I won't make you hear me chew, but it's funny. Okay, so yeah, BLX. Well, we're still, I don't know why your chart's so different from this chart. How does it need adjustments? I don't understand. Let's see here. Where are the liquidations happening? That giant dump started right at the bell. Oh no, let's go to the, well, let's get off BLX. Let's get off BLX and go back into normal markets. If you go to the 15-minute time frame, looks like we started dumping at about, the real dump started at 3 in the morning my time, which is 3.5 hours before the general market opened. No, not animal style. I'm very weird, Steve, and I won't explain my eating habits, but no, not animal style. But if you like animal style, there you go. Swallow it whole. It's not a White Castle burger. It's an In-N-Out burger, which is still a little bit small, but I actually get 3 patties on my In-N-Out burgers. They got good. They got really good beef. Wave Rider with an interesting question. Do you think alts have any influence on the Bitcoin chart since most alts are or close to all-time lows? No, I really don't think so. I don't think. I mean, Bitcoin is its own beast. It's its own animal, and I don't think the altcoins. I don't think the altcoins really have any influence on them whatsoever. To be honest with you, it's the disparity in market cap is absolutely phenomenal. I'm sure all of you know. If you don't, coin market cap, you got Bitcoin with 103 billion and 14. It's 14% of the market cap of Bitcoin and ETH. So yeah, I don't. It's definitely not doing that. Yeah, I'm not sure, Shiny. I don't know. Could be. Well, keep in mind, if you're on a trading desk, if you're on investment trading desk, they have people globally open up there 24/7. One thing we may be able to do, I don't know. Let's see if I can add the NQ1 to this because futures were open at that time. What the hell? I thought I was adding it. Okay, well, I guess I can just type BTC. Is a little bit easier right there. Okay, so there's the Bitcoin dump. So it looks like we had a futures dump. I'm pretty sure this was the news last night on President Trump's announcement, right there. And they dumped. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they chose to dump right there. Oh yeah, by the way, the futures are tanking right now. Remember, Shiny? We saw the close. We're like, oh, I wonder if the futures are going to pop. Not so far. Hey, what's up, Miguel? You got a theory. Bitcoin has been following traditionals. The futures reactions to Trump's prohibition was very bearish, so they dumped before the market opened. Prediction it would dump sooner or later. Do I hold any or did you sell all? I've been out for a while, Sander. I've been out for a while. We've been so in the Crypto Power Hour, we go through the markets every single day, and yeah, I've been out for a while. To be honest with you, we've been waiting for about some kind of a confirmation for a buy, which just never came, and there really wasn't a need to be jumping in the market. So yeah, I've been out for a while. I didn't get hurt by this, nor did I make any money. I didn't I didn't short either. I'm not in a position to short at this stage of the game. So interesting theory. Yeah, I don't know, Shiny, who's liquidating. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to. Yeah, right, Samp? Says most YouTubers are moon boys and they just got out of high school, so they never experienced a real recession or lived through one. Exactly. I was kind of referring to that a little bit earlier in terms of, and remember, I think one of my, my last couple of videos been pretty bullish. We've maintained a bullish bias. I'm not going to lie to you guys and sit here and tell you that, oh, we saw the crash coming. No, I didn't see the crash coming. I didn't see a 30% crash today. Did anyone else see a 30% crash today? I don't think so. I don't think no one said, "Hey, we're going to crash 30%." I don't think anyone said that. We haven't had a 30% down day in Bitcoin in a really long time. I mean, okay. Let me get some of these things off my chart real quick. I'll get the log curves off for right now. Just hide them. We may have had one or two and a couple of wicks, but like even this day right here, how big was that? 29%. 29%. How about this one? 27%. How about this one? 25%. How about this one? 21%. So it's very, very rare to see a reaction like this. 18%. So you can see we're not even in the ballpark. So this 27%. 21%. Not even. We got a little close earlier, but not really. 23%. So a 1 day 30% down, that's a toughie. That's a toughie to manage, 16%. So yeah, I mean, going all the way back to the start of the bull run. All the way back to the start of the bull run. What What about over here? What about in the depths of the last bull run? There you go, 33%. 33%. So could it be a buying signal? Could this actually be capitulation in a very strange part of the chart? Wait for the reversal. Don't play hero. Do not play hero, in my opinion. You don't play hero in the markets. Markets are not for gambling. All you stupid gamblers out there just fucking lose money all the time, bitch about it. Market is not for gambling unless you're actually gambling and know what you're doing. Or don't care and just want to lose money. 43%. That's a down day. How about this one? Shut up, Vlad. 34%. So this is the first or second 20. This is the second 2013 high, where we're finally seeing 30% days. This is a pretty unprecedented day in BTC. I'm sure somewhere there's a list of the biggest drops in BTC. Let's see, biggest drops in BTC in a day. Someone's got to put a list together. Biggest rises and falls. Yeah, see, they're not going to go that in depth though. November. Yeah, see, that's not. You can't. That's stupid. Biggest intraday price drop in over a year. Third biggest daily loss. Maybe this one has a list. Oh, that's just 2019. Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. So, but this would be a very odd place, in my opinion, to have a capitulation candle. Monkeytron earlier asked, could this be a capitulation candle? My answer was no, it can't be a capitulation candle because it's not really in the right place in the chart. This is more of a breakdown candle, in my opinion, than a capitulation candle. At the same time, though, that's a ton of volume. In our day, we still have 2 hours left in the day, so I guess we'll see what happens. Looks like I missed some good questions here. Let me go back and look. Ted says, buy now with a stop below the 200 MA. On the weekly, I'm assuming you mean there, Ted. Yeah, it could be. I mean, if you want to. It's hard to say that's exactly going to stop it. We could get a wick lower. I always have a hard time with some of those calls because it's, you get a wick like this and it just stops you out before it rallies back up on through. So personally, I'd much rather wait for the confirmation of the reversal to enter. That's my personal opinion. Today was also the biggest drop in the European markets ever. Really? Didn't know that. That's interesting. Go back some years, there were more wild drops, much worse than 2008 recession, Mickey says. Can you explain how to know once capitulation has occurred? Yeah, Wall Street might get locked down. I think Mt. Gox drop that might be bigger than this or the biggest. Actually, we were just looking at that back in that 2013 era. There was like a 47% drop. I think that was Mt. Gox. That's one of those FU days that we were just referring to. So I'm not going to go too deep on capitulation. Actually, believe it or not, I have a webinar just to, I guess. Oh, it's Real Crypto Slack. I actually have a webinar on buying the bottom of Bitcoin before the 6,000 drop, I believe is when I did it. And that goes very in depth, as a matter of fact, of how to buy a bottom. So, and this talks in depth about capitulation. So if you're interested, you can go right there to my website. You can click on webinars. It's $22 for the webinar. And if you want to, you can watch it. But in a nutshell, it's essentially massive everything. And this does loosely fit that definition, but it's in a very strange point in the chart for that. Very, very strange point in the chart for a capitulation low. If this is indeed people raising liquidity, it could happen again. So I don't want to be caught in that. I don't like death of 1,000 cuts from taking a bunch of small stop losses. I would much rather, and this is what I'm doing in the stock market. Well, it's not the only thing I'm doing in the stock market, but when the market's in a correction, I wait for a follow-through day. I don't try to get the bottom. That's something a lot of people in crypto do wrong, is they try to time the bottom, and yes, it feels good to say that you've caught the bottom. Yes, it's great. Yes, you make money, but you're going to try it 15 times before you actually get it. And it's a fleeting moment. The better moments for me are when I wait and I actually implement my plan. That is a win. I much rather like that than just trying to guess. In terms of a capitulation candle, another thing to look for, and actually on my YouTube channel, which you guys are actually on right now, I have a video 1223. Yeah, 1223 real crypto. Will that show up? No. 1222 maybe. 1222, 1223. Crash of the market live. If you guys actually want to watch a capitulation candle in real time, it's right. It's right there. And I'm sure you guys can. I'm sure you guys can hear that. But yeah, check this out. And I've got a couple links right here in case you guys, actually want to look at it. But yeah, you can go to my channel, search 1222, and it'll show up. So you'll actually be able to watch that in real time if you want. Let's see. I missed a couple more comments. Now's not a bad hodl, says Mel. I prefer to wait a little bit. Yeah, someone did ask for Link, and yeah, man, Link. Woo. Man, Link has been so awesome. Except for that. Let's use a different chart. Oh my goodness. So yeah, these are all of our prior alerts for Link in the Power Hour. Link has just been so awesome. So good. Link appears to be one of those coins that is destined to be kind of, I think, well, except for maybe that, the next really good crypto that may stay up. I say may because it's still early. Where's CoinMarketCap? Yeah, here we go. Link it was number 11, now number 12, but that's only because Leo's down 4% instead of 40 like Link is. But Link has really risen in the ranks a tremendous, tremendous amount. Whatever they're doing good. And this is our top 20 coins we go through every day in the Real Crypto Power Hour. And Link made it from the bottom to the top of our sheet here, which is pretty impressive. There hasn't been another coin to do that other than BSV. And it's just a Bitcoin derivative, so it does that. But yeah, so Link, I think it's a good coin in terms of buying it down here. Maybe. But we can zoom out on Link and we can see now we're back into the choppy area. When you're in a big, large, choppy area such as this, it's really difficult to know how long it's going to remain down here. And unfortunately, we essentially gapped down into it. It's essentially a gap. And we're down here. It's hard to know exactly when it's going to come back. Link does play a very important role in crypto these days. A lot of different cryptos are using Link to link to other crypto platforms. So, but yeah, the drop's substantial. The drop on Binance to go all the way back down to the lowest you can trade, 0.0001, I believe is the lowest order you can even put on Binance for Link. So someone had a crazy order, probably akin to a flash crash. And I don't think Binance has actually rolled back any orders, so I think that's a legit order. I think it's a legit order, and they're not going to roll it back. But yeah, a very, very tremendous drop in Link. Good luck if you got that down there. That's freaking awesome. Comeback could be epic, but you could say that MTS for a number of cryptos. It's only down. See here, and this is what I started the video talking about, is that this type of market environment right here is very dangerous, because we talked about if this is a fuck it, sell everything moment, which it looks like it was, you could get another leg lower, and it's, yeah, very dangerous. You have to have stop loss orders. You have to have stop loss orders in place. But my general point is that it's like a 10% difference between the coin down the most and the coin down the least. Only 10%, which isn't normal. That is not normal market action. In a normal market, one or two of these coins will be down less than 10%. Less than 10%. I don't know which ones, but and you may have one down 50% or something. Well, probably not 50%. That's a really big drop, but you get my general point. It's just a general haircut across the market. Someone owns a shitload of crypto, just sold a shitload of crypto across the entire space. As a matter of fact, if you go to CoinMarketCap, and you look at, well, actually, I have it up here on the chart. If you look at the chart for total market cap, we did this earlier. Now, again, and I want to say this because I'm public here, keep in mind that market cap does not mean money withdrawn from the market. So we were up here at about $219 billion, and now we're down here at $160 billion. We didn't remove, 80 billion from the market, but a significant portion of that would have been dollars removed from the market. So someone said, you know what? Let's cut our portfolio by X percentage across the board. Hit the button, click, and then the algos sell everything. So, yeah, that's pretty. In my opinion, that's basically what happened. That's really basically what happened. MTS with an interesting note, and I've talked about that today. I have not talked about that today. I've had thoughts about that though. Let's do this. Let's go back to the NASDAQ. Let's take a little trip. Take a little trip with me. Take a little trip and see. Okay, so we marked this up the other day in terms, I think it was yesterday, in terms of how the 2008 crisis parallels, or was it this morning, parallels with what we're going through today, and also how it's different. Because obviously there are parallels and there are some major differences as well. So obviously the housing market starts to collapse. The Fed tries to stop the housing bust. You get mini bailouts here. But I want you to notice where the bailouts come into effect. Bush signs tax rebate right here. Mini bailouts by the Fed. Fed nationalizes Fannie and Freddie here. Then Lehman goes bankrupt a week later. And then the ass really falls out of the market. What I want you to notice, MTS and anyone else thinking that the governments are going to save us, they can't. I don't think they can. And actually thinking back in history now, I think most of this is a mistake. The market could give two craps about your bailouts. The market could give two shits. Your bailout is one day. It's one day. Could the market have gone lower without the bailouts? Absolutely. The market could have gone lower. But it's very short term. It's a band-aid on a gunshot wound. It's a band-aid on a gunshot wound. In my opinion, you basically have like our economy. So let me do this real quick. This is kind of what I think about QE. So if this is the general global economy, our entire global economy, the Fed can do some damage, right? The Fed may be able to influence a percentage of that. Okay? The Fed's going to influence something. But when your problem is bigger than the influence of the Fed, so if you're dealing with a problem of this scale that the Fed can contain, obviously it's going to happen. But if your problem is bigger than the Fed, it's not going to have that much of an influence. Okay? It's really not going to have that much of an influence. Now, let's just say you've got a big balloon that's rising and you're attaching a big weight to it, which is really what this is akin to, right? It's a big weight. If this is indeed the Fed, you're going to have an effect, but it's going to be a short-term effect, and eventually it's not even going to matter. And I think that's what you saw with 2008. I think that's what you saw, and that's what you're going to see this time around as well. You're going to see a short-term effect, but the overall scale of the problem, you can't throw enough money at it. I don't think you can. When you're talking about, and I don't know the numbers. I haven't even heard any estimates, to be honest with you. as far as how much money that the whole COVID virus and all of the measures being taken are going to remove from the economy. I don't know what that does to GDP, but the Fed can't do enough. The Fed's not going to walk into the business down the street. And see, this is the problem with the Federal Reserve, in my opinion, jumping in and just throwing money at the wrong side of the fucking problem. It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing they could possibly do. It's absolutely the dumbest thing. It's like you about to go bankrupt. It's almost like you about to go bankrupt, and you come up into $5,000, and you end up throwing all of that money on the principal of your mortgage. Like, what? You're about to go bankrupt. You're throwing $5,000 at the principal of your mortgage. Why don't you call your creditors and work out a deal with them for that $5K and not go bankrupt? Right? They're throwing money, in my opinion, on the wrong side of the problem. They're throwing money from the top down instead of the bottom up. If they really want to do something, they should be cutting checks. They should be cutting checks to people. Period. They should just be cutting checks to people. In my opinion, just a stupid guy on YouTube. But anyway, it's turning around. It's affecting the global economy, and that's what you see today in crypto. That's exactly what you see here today. Is you see banks and institutions taking risk off the table, and maybe wait for another shoe to drop to see if we're going to get another liquidity event. If we do start to curl back up, there are some opportunities to take some trades. Like I said, I mentioned this is kind of a technical point. You could maybe draw a trend line depending on how aggressive you want to be. There's probably some fib levels some fib guys could throw at me, but yeah, it's buy on the way back up after you get a more confirmed bottom. I think you can buy on the way back up. This one's not too bad. But we haven't broken any official lines yet or anything like that. But yeah, as long as we're going to be in a liquidity crunch and uncertain economic times, they could take another chunk out of crypto. Obviously they probably didn't sell their entire crypto position. They just reduced something. I don't know if it's trading desk funds. I don't know if it's long-term bags, and you'll never know those types of things. But yeah, I think it's a special event. And Shiny said it earlier. Shiny said it really well. She said, yeah, but it didn't break the log trend line here based on normal trading. It broke it because of an event, and that's absolutely correct. So while the long-term trend line was broken, it wasn't crypto's fault, if that makes any sense. So from that perspective, level into some positions on the way back up if we start getting the run back up. But even the problem with that is this is not a normal trading environment. This is I don't give a shit distribution. I wrote here care, but I really wanted to curse. I just did not. This is not normal distribution. This is abnormal distribution, and it can be a steamroller. So you think of the number of ways that you can survive a steamroller attack. The only one that makes sense to me is to step out of the way. Just step out. Just watch it go by where you were standing a moment ago, and then maybe it backs up and tries to roll over you again, and you're standing on the sidelines. But if you're going to sit there with a steamroller and try to put a metal plate over your head, the steamroller won't break that metal plate, but it's still going to squish the shit out of you under the metal plate. It's still going to squish you. And with the coronavirus, it hasn't just started, but you're starting to see big effects. We don't know the effects it's going to have. This is not a risk-on environment. To Shiny's point again, it will be a long time before people are risk-on again. She's 100% correct. She's 100% correct. You're not going to go risk-on tomorrow. You're not going to wake up one day and you're going to see the news event, oh, the coronavirus is gone. It's not going to happen. Never in the history of viruses has that happened. And it's highly unlikely to happen again today or tomorrow or the next day. It's going to be a very gradual effect. Okay? Think of basically you getting the flu. It's going to get really bad. You're going to feel a little better one day. You're going to feel a little better the next day. And if you don't handle it correctly, you're going to feel bad for a while. But if you handle it correctly, you'll be doing okay. So, yeah, and that's kind of what's going on here today. So, yeah, I think general trading practices right now are to step aside and be patient. In my opinion, that's the best practice. If you're playing hero and buying a level, my personal opinion is that is misguided. That is misguided. And if you're going to do that, please have a hard stop in place. Please have a hard stop in place. Please have a hard stop in place. What if there's an announcement for a vaccine? Well, according to, I've been watching a little bit of videos here. According to the people that I have heard, a vaccine is going to take about a year, at least. About a year at least. I was watching. There's a video on the Joe Rogan podcast from a gentleman. I actually put this in my Real Crypto newsletter today. Hold on, I was reading something in there. I'll post this video for you guys. There we go. Yeah, it's right there. I'll put this in chat. So if you guys want to, you can go ahead and click on this video. It's actually very educational with a guy that knows what he's talking about. The guy that he just watch it. It's really good. And he says it takes a long time. It takes a long time to develop these vaccines. What he says later in the video is they have done studies. If you're to put a vaccine out there that is partially effective, it actually emboldens the virus, and the virus gets a little bit worse. So they don't want to put a vaccine out there until it's legit. They don't want to put it out there until it's legit. So yeah, I would definitely say that a vaccine is a ways off. So it's going to go through the course. They're going to close a bunch of stuff down. You got to wait 2 weeks for everyone to cycle through, then another 2 weeks, and another 2 weeks on in perpetuity until you see the cases start to decline, likely due to the summer coming in. And I'm in Arizona. It's pouring right now, so I don't see summer anytime soon. But it'll be hotter here faster than it's hotter over there. Anil says, what do you think about deploying capital in high dividend paying stocks? Maybe still too early. Yes, still too early. Guys, that's the one good thing about this is you're going to have awesome buys in the general capital markets and likely in crypto at some point in time, but it ain't today. So, it ain't today. All right, guys, well, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to bounce. Yeah, I appreciate everyone joining me today and jumping on the Extreme Stream Chart Murder Show, because these charts just got murdered. Absolutely murdered. And it's step aside time and come back at another date. If you guys do like the content, I do have my Real Crypto Power Hour. If you guys are interested, I know today's probably not the day to sign up, but gotta get my plugs in there, I guess. Real Crypto Power Hour, click on services, click on the Power Hour. You guys have me for at least an hour every single day, 7 days a week, and we talk about everything and anything, literally anything and everything. Sometimes it gets way off topic of markets, but we try to have fun, do the best that we can. And if you guys are looking for guidance, if you guys want to find a great time to buy a bottom, and just don't have the time to follow day to day, or just don't know when to, the Power Hour is a great resource. A lot of members in here, some former members as well. Shiny's a former member. But anyway, we're still a great community. And if you guys don't want to join the Power Hour but still want to talk with some really good traders, our Slack chat room, there's no charge for that. You can sign up right here on the home page of the website and get into the Slack chat room, which is always a good time. And actually, if some of you guys actually have some really good insights on the general market, I am actually going to invite you literally to join, so you can join our macro channel so we can discuss good times to jump back into the market. I have my general technical signals that I will always follow, but I'm always looking for more information and different viewpoints to kind of expand my horizon and knowledge base as well. So, yeah, it's pouring here, Arizona. It's pretty nice. Are you still doing stock openings for Real Stocks? Yeah, Miguel. Yeah, you can jump on my Real Stocks channel And yeah, jump on my Real Stocks channel. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good day. Thanks for joining me. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.